It's been our pleasure to be joined all this week with Evangelist Racquel Harris talking about flowing in the blessing plan of God. And today we have part 4, keep the faith and never doubt! Exclamation point. What do you have for us today?
Well, today I want to encourage God's people to keep the faith and never doubt. When we know that the Word tells us that without faith, it's impossible to please God. So when you play this yo-yo game of, Lord, I believe you today, and then tomorrow you wake up and you just totally lose faith, you know, that's when we run into trouble. But it's important to be encouraged, no matter what the situation is, to keep the faith and never doubt in your heart.
Yeah. Do you think that sometimes we make faith a little too complicated?
Faith, no, I don't think so. I think that it's, you know, the Word says, my yoke is easy.
Yeah.
And you know, we don't need to overthink faith or overcomplicate faith.
But do you think that we maybe do that sometimes?
I think maybe it's easier for some than others. You know, for some who like for myself, you know, I think your testimonies and your struggles bring about, you know, different seasons and different levels of faith. I think when you experience firsthand how God brings you out of something, a horrible situation, then your faith is increased a little bit more. And so we know that Hebrews 11:1 says that now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things unseen. That is so important because a lot of times we can't see what God is doing in the invisible realm. We know that he's going to do it, and we know that he's going to bring whatever you're hoping for to pass, but we can't see it. Yeah. And it's in those times that when you can't see what God's doing, when it looks like it's just the opposite, that you stand firm and trust in the Lord. And
a lot of times, you know, people, they would say, I would have faith if I could just see, you know, what's going to happen. But really, isn't that the basis of you know, being a Christian anyway, is that you're believing in what you can't see.
And the Word tells us, how can you love God whom you've never seen, you know, but hate your brother and sister whom you see every day, you know? And so if we can love a God, you know, and then not believe God for something so small, you know, like a healing or something that you know, we believe him for, we really have to know that Christianity is a faith walk. And it's not easy. I'm the first to say it's not easy, but when you continue to press toward the mark of the high calling, God is right there and he will answer prayer.
And perhaps there's someone watching this morning, they flipped on the TV, they just woke up and they're thinking, I'd love to have more faith, but I don't know how. What are the practical steps as they move throughout their day to actually have that faith?
Well, every morning, and this is just my own personal testimony as well, you know, start off your morning with prayer, you know, and if you're having a little bit of difficulty, you know, connecting with God, call the prayer line. I mean, that's a perfect opportunity for you to say, listen, I'm having some trouble praying on my own. I'm having some seeds of doubt. Who can I get to pray with me and to agree with me in prayer so that I can be a little bit more encouraged and strong?
Yeah, and the second part of that, you said, don't doubt, but some folks may be thinking, well, that's easy for you to say. You don't have no idea what I'm going through. It's pretty easy to doubt sometimes.
And I have been there. It is so easy to doubt, especially when everything's so dark, you know, and everything, when you look around on the television and you look around and you hear the news, you know, all the murders and all the horrible things that are going on, just random acts of violence, you know, but that's when we have to know in whom we trust and know and say, Lord, give me a little bit more courage. And God will put people in your life to encourage you and to lift you up. And, you know, your local church, I would say connect with those individuals at your local church so that you can have a resource to fall back on.
So really having faith and not doubting are really connected.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, all this week we've been joined by Evangelist Racquel Harris. You don't want to miss our finale. Tomorrow, we'll be right back with more Harvest Show.